Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, whichever one you're in. This is Angela with Dogwood Paper Arts, and I was sitting here clipping along, making square punches, making squares out of the punches. And I thought, you know, I've got all this laid out here to start making paper quilt blocks, and I might as well invite you to join me. So here we have, I am using the Creative Memories, and I am using the 1.5 inch square punch, and I'm also using the what is it, 3/4 inch, a 3/4 inch square punch. I haven't been using the other ones yet. Maybe I will do that later, but right now I just want to use these two. I am trying not to get too complicated with myself because I can really complicate things. So I can make them hard or easy, and I tend to make it harder on myself by trying to create something that's, who knows, way out there maybe. So anyway, I'm doing the basic quilt blocks, as you can see here. So this here is a pocket for a journal. Now I have not page tested it, so I'm going to page test it while you're here. My journals are usually I usually just fold over an 8.5 by 11 paper. So that makes it what? 5 1/4, 5.5. This isn't quite 11. About 5.5 by 8.5. 8.5 by 5.5. Sorry about that. So if this were the inside page, my quilt block pocket would fit nicely right here. So I came up with that one, and then I wanted to try out some square ones so that I could insert journal cards in them, either that way or this way, or perhaps I can stick a paper between them and have them coming out both sides of a paper, you know, right and left. So it would be like a hinge between the two to hinge them, and then they could be journaling cards on the back. So this big pocket actually has two good options. Now the other thing that could happen with this one is you could cut it on the diagonal here. Either use, you know, the decal edge scissors or whatever you want. But you could cut it in half and have the corner tucks out of those. So there's both of those. Then I made this one, which is the basic pinwheel. And I made this into another pocket, just like this. So there's that one. And then I just have some little practice blocks. Here's a pinwheel I practiced, and another pinwheel. And then this is more like the flying geese going off in that direction. So those both are more like flying geese. But I'm not saying these can't be used, because they certainly can on your paper, on your in your journal. You could have put just two of them together and make a little tuck here. You could run them along the sides, and with a couple more there, and you could make a nice little quilt block edge. So there's lots you can do. You could actually fold them in half and make tabs out of them. or we can block them like we have some of the others. So anyway, you can see that I am thinking about making a journal that has to do with quilts. I often, well, before COVID-19 came along, you know, if there was a quilt show or something like that, if a museum was showing quilts, I would plan on going to those because I just love to look at them. I don't want to make them anymore. They're very time consuming, and it's just not where I'm at. Even this was time consuming. Just getting these little pieces cut and squared. But I do love quilts, and I love to take pictures of them. And I think that it would be really neat to have a journal with quilts, you know, pictures of quilts, but also pockets and maybe quilt backgrounds. I have several quilts in my possession that had belonged to a great-grandmother and a great-great-grandmother. Well, not several. I do have several. And then I have a really old one that came from my husband's great-great-grandmother. And it's a beauty, but they didn't get it finished, so it's just the whole top. So I'd like to take pictures of those. And then I have another quilt that a lady we used to pick up for church every day, Mrs. Barnes, that she had made, and it has butterflies on it. And then I have a really beautiful machine embroidered angel quilt that my sister, Jabeth, had made for my mama. And it is absolutely stunning. And it hangs on my bed. So, on the baseboard of my bed. And what else? I have little quilt pieces like this, and then I have several quilt blocks that I've made that I might like to incorporate into this journal. Let me see if I can grab them out here if they're in a good place. Oh yes, and I have one that my sister made for me. Let's see if Jane here. I have my dear Jane, and it's a quilt that I may work on every now and then. I just have not quite decided. I have one that my sister made me, and it's all Holly Hobby, and it is absolutely beautiful. I can show you, what can I show you? Is this it? No, this is a quilt I'm working on. Well, I don't know where all my dear Jane is, but I have some beautiful blocks. But here's a quilt that I have made. And it's a log cabin. And the only thing that needs to be done to this is I need to bind it. So, you know, and then I need to hang it. That's what I need to do, is bind it and hang it. So there is that that I haven't done yet. And Dear Jane is a massive quilt. I've got all the blocks and stuff for it, but I haven't gotten very far on it, to tell you the truth. And right now I don't know where any of my blocks are. I can show you this quilt that I'm working on. Well, I'm not working on it right now. Oh look, a piece of fuzzy. I can use that in scrap. This one. It's going to be an around the world quilt. It's in the strips right now. And it needs to be, of course, cut into the right places. So that's that one. And it's all inside out right now. But that's kind of cool. Oh, now that I've looked at them again, I want to sew. And What else? Well, I wanted to show you those blocks, but I can't find them right now because I want to incorporate them into my journal. I'll have to show them to you next time, or when I get ready to do the quilt. I'll make sure I have those because I'm probably not going to finish the Dear Jane quilt because it is extensive. It's massive. It's hundreds of blocks. Some of you probably know that. So anyway, for me, I decided that I wanted to just do a journal, and I'll take pictures of my quilts and quilts my sisters have made, and my niece, she makes beautiful quilts too. So it would just be nice to take pictures of them and put them in my journal. And maybe I can write a little bit about the person that made them or something like that. I just think it would be a lot of fun. So I thought, since you're out there and I'm in here and I am surrounded by squares, here we go. See them all? Squares, squares, all around here. And I've got some strips cut. Now, this is a gluey mess, I can tell you that. Let me bring this down so I got you up close enough. I am sorry right now if I get out of your view. Just let me know if I get out too much, and I will try harder not to. So what you're going to need is a 3/4 inch punch, square punch, and a 1.5 inch square punch. I am using this for my larger blocks, and 4 of the 3/4 inch make this size, and the 4 of this size, the 3/4 inch, make that big square. And I am also taking these, and these are the ones I'm cutting in half on the diagonal to make the pinwheels. So there are lots of designs we could make. I don't want to get too complicated because then this will be like every other quilt that I have going. It won't get done. And this is something that I'm really kind of looking forward to getting done. So I'm going to leave this pinwheel out to remind me how I need to set the pieces in. I'll use this one, it's better. And I'm going to set these aside, and I'm going to pull in a base piece. Now this is the 1.5 inch square. The reason I want a base piece is because it's far easier to work on a base piece than it is to just try and line them up. And once they're on a base piece, then I glue them down to a coffee dyed paper for the backing and to make it a little stronger, because with all the piecing in them, the pieces get a little weak. Now, I can't tell you what is the best glue to use for this. I have been using my glitter glue. I actually am using a brand new bottle. It feels good in my hands. I haven't had a brand new bottle. I've had a lot of bottles, but not baby bottles, but glue bottles, art glitter glue. But you can see how glued they are. So this one has a little more in it, so it's working good. I kind of feel like I'm cheating on my old ones. I have 2 old ones. So anyway, best to start on a base piece. So let's start simple. Let's do this simple piece here. We'll do the pinwheel in a little bit. So So you can see on this one that I just used, you see that? I just used 5 solids and 4 with squares. So that's a very simple quilt. Let's figure out what we'd like to put on it. I have some interesting ones here. What color would go with them? I think maybe this. So let me bring in, well, that's a solid though. We don't really want a solid on this one since we're going solid here. Let's see, let me put those back. That's a Tim Holtz paper, by the way. You know, I bet I didn't, oh, yeah, here. Oh, is that the right size, I wonder? Doesn't look like it, does it? No, don't want that side. Maybe that one's off. Oh, I know. I don't know if I have any more of this one, but I'll use it if I can. Okay, so I'm going to flip that one over. And then I think I'll put beside it either a solid green, or we could go this green, this blue, kind of a batik looking. The batik looks really nice, doesn't it? So let's go with that. So I'm going to need some of those, and I'm going to need some of these. And I'm going to put the purple back in the purple pile. Okay. So this does get your hands very gluey. I can't think of an easy way to do it that it wouldn't. And if you just did what I did, it's going to make your table gluey too. What I'm doing is just lining that quilt block up. I'm trying to make it as even as possible with this square, with the 1.5 inch square. Let's see if I can bring you a little closer. That's as close as it gets. So we're right on this little square. So I have that one. Now putting on the next one is easy. It's a little farther away from me right now, so. And then we pick up another one. Now both of these papers are the same paper weight. They are both a double-sided paper. So that makes it makes them line up quite well. The one thing about using the stick glue is that the piece is still movable for quite a while. So it gives you some play time to get things kind of squared up. It's not always easy to get them squared up. Sometimes it does go over the edge, and I have had to clip some. It's not a quilt that's going on my bed, so it's not anything I'm worried about. So for that reason, the stick glue is good. The art glitter glue, it works very well, and I do like to use it if I have some of these corners coming up, because I can stick the little nib of the glue in here, put in a little bit of glue and squish it out, and then it's glued together on the corners. That's where I didn't get the glitter glue. So, tell me how you've all been. What's everybody been up to? I hope your states are tamer than ours is right now. I'm not going to get into any of that, but I'll just tell you I'm from the state of Oregon, and you'll probably hear about Oregon on the news a lot, maybe for the last 3 months. So anyway, there is the first quilt block. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so let's set that. Where can you see it? Right there. Okay. Now we need to pick out a block to put beside it. Or are we going to put this one in the center and do a solid on the outside? Now we do have one of these that could go there. We do have a blue that could go. The blue looks good. It actually brings in this color and pulls it out. Let's put 2 blue there and see what it looks like. This is not the same weight paper. It's a thin single-sided sheet, but it is thin. I think that looks good. Okay, so let's go to our next block. And before I glue down to the table again, let me just glue right here. Ugh. Okay, so we have one of these in the corner. All I'm doing is lining this top and this side up with the outside of this square. And then I'm lining that one up the same way, but I'm butting it up against the first block. Then I'm coming back to this side. And then back to here. And we will square these up. I mean, it tends to be just like a quilt. You're still going to have to square it up. Don't ask me why, but it must be my gluing down. So here's that one. Let's put it in place. We'll need to put it right there. So we have that one. And our quilt block is coming together. Yay! Let me turn my book this way. Okay. I'm going to move this up a little bit so I'm in camera. After we get our block done, I'll take you back out so you can see it. So in comes this little square. This paper here is just a lightweight, I think it's a 25-pound linen paper. I wanted to go light with it because I know I want to back this, and I don't want a lot of bulk in my journal. Oops. So, there's a little spider web on the glue. Let's see. I think I'm going with these first. I don't want to get myself off my game here. I hope my head is out of the way. The one good thing when your fingers are gluey, it's very easy to pick up the squares because your fingers just naturally stick to them. Oh, get that one over. There we go. So there's another one. Uh-oh, I think I glued this one right to the book. I did, see that? But that's okay, we can cut that piece off. Although it looks kind of cool there, doesn't it? So it makes kind of a nice design element for the journal, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm going to just fold that one over. And I'm going to use it right here. Right. Let me get in camera. Right here on this side of the book. See if I can make rhyme or reason out of stuff. Uh-oh. I think I'm going to run out of squares, which means I'm going to have to find something to fit with it. That one's got to go down there. Let's see, I don't have a whole one of those over there. Oh, I don't need it. I'm good. I am good. I am. Okay, let's lift that up. Peel that off. And because this one's going down here, because we're squaring it up this way, we only needed to make 4 of these. I don't know where that color is in my papers, so it's something I'm going to have to look for. There's that one. And one of them has writing on it, so let's stick it in the middle. So there we go. Now let's put that on a piece of coffee dyed paper. That gives us a big pocket to put a journaling card in, or like I said before, to make a page, to put a hinge on it and make it part of the signature pages. There's a lot of options that we could do with it. That one won't fit. So let's just open this one. And let me pull all those up. Put these back where they belong, back with those. Okay, and let me, hang on. I don't want to end up spilling any of those onto the floor. Okay, so just like before, I'm going to start in the corner and work my way across three squares and 3 squares and 3 squares. And this started with, and this paper here is thin, and it is backed with one of these solid pieces, because this one's a thicker one and that will make them stand much closer in height with each other. Whoops. So let's start here. Now I should have clipped that one a little bit first. I can see that it's got a little white edge showing there. Let me see if this is actually going to fit or if I need to pull it up. I'm going to have to pull it up. So it'll be fine. We can still utilize everything we're doing. So it's a real thin line that's showing. So I'm just going to carefully trim that one off so that it is even. I'm going to go ahead and trim this one off while I'm there. And then just a little tiny bit down there too. It's just where the backing paper is showing. Now, can we put it back there? No. Let's move over to here. Yeah, that'll be better. So that is one thing we have to check for each time, is to be sure that it looks pretty well squared up. If it's not squared up, it's not going to go against your quilt block, against the next quilt block. It doesn't have to be perfectly square, unless you want it to be that way. I'm not too particular about that part, but I do like them to kind of be close together. Am I on camera? And then this one. Oh, look at that. That one is off. Dear me. I think that's going to go to the outside edge. Now, like I said before, if the glue didn't quite get to the corners, just put some glitter, art glitter glue into there, or whatever type of white glue you use to catch those corners. Okay, let's go to this one. Let's check it first. That looks pretty good, except for right here. You see those little tiny pieces coming off there? I feel like I need the eyes of a hawk right now. Yes, I got it right. This one is the one that we want to be sure is in the middle, because it is different. So if we want our quilt to look balanced, we probably better put this one in the center. I probably will go over this with ink. That way, if there's a gap, like there's a little one here, because I forgot to check it. And so I'll probably go over it with a little bit of ink in those spots. Okay, this one's going that way, this one's going that way. So that works. Now this one. You have to get them in the light just right to see where the little bit of ivory color is showing. So, oh, did I forget to set my timer? I sure did. I was so excited about finally getting to film today. You know, I wasn't going to. Let me take that down. Let's see, reset. How long have I been with you? About a half an hour? Okay, we'll say I was here and gone and came back. She was here and gone and came back. But we don't know where she's at now. Where could she be? Oh, she's in her room, like a quilting bee. This is the one that stuck to the paper. Okay. Square it up first, Ange. There we go. Okay, now flip it over and just kind of make sure your paper is adhered. Sticky down under there. I have a corner that is up here, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in there. And now we're going to cut along here. And there we go. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? That's going to look really neat. So we've done that one, which is this one and this one. Well, it's this one. This one I used a more decorator fabric, a more decorative paper with a decorative paper. This and this I used more of a solid paper with the more decorative. But I don't think it really matters too much. So let's do this one. It's another just a line patch, and it is bordered with another off-white, it's actually, it looks like wood in the paper pack. So, but here it kind of looks like, I don't know, maybe a little fabric, I don't know. So let's make that one. Now that one, I started on my paper. Take that off. That one's not big enough. And the first thing I did was laid down where am I on camera? I laid down my strip. Now these blocks should all be the same size, so if I look at this one here and measure that, then this should be about even. But, oh yeah, there. But I may have a different size my hesitation is correct. This may not be the same width as this one. So I'm going to cut it a little long, and then I'll have to cut it off before it gets all the way dried with glue. That makes sense. This might be a better paper. Yeah, I think it is. And it will work. Let's use this one. It's a nice journaling spot, but it's really going to be a sorry, I'm concentrating here and up there. It's going to be I think it's going to be a pocket, so I don't really have to worry about what's on the back. Okay. Now, what I did so that I didn't go over the edges is I started with this block. And is that what we're going to use this time? What do I have? I have this. One side has flowers and the other side is checked. So I think I'm going to use that. And I'll just switch the blocks back and forth. So I know I need to put my binding. If we were quilting, it would be a binding here. I think this is the one I cut wrong. So over there it goes. Here we go. Yeah. So my binding will end up going right down along there. So I'll get this first one on. Oh, I should go back to the other glue maybe. And then in the center I had this solid purple. So do we want a solid there? What color do I have that we could use? Whoops. I don't like the way that's going on there. Yeah, this one was too far under there, so I'm not worried about pulling it up like this because it's not ruined. It was just misplaced, and now it's going to be placed properly. There we go. That's better. It was just off just enough that I knew I wouldn't be able to tolerate it. So this here is about this long. And I'm only going to glue it halfway here because I'm going to have to cut it off before so that it's on the inside, because I have this piece going straight up and down, and then this is on the inside of it. So I'll just glue it part way down for now. And it's off a little bit. Like I said, I ended up cutting some of these off. I lined them up wrong. Shame on me, huh? It happens. Especially when you're working with little stuff, it's like, geez. Oh, that is so pretty. I think we'll just go with the check in the middle too. And this one. I must have cut these off just a little bit, or maybe it's just that the check fabric on the back, my eyes are kind of focusing more on the crookedness of the check. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? Some of they could be smaller. I could have accidentally, I was just using thin strips of paper, so I mean it's highly possible that I miscut them. Gosh, that's beautiful. So pretty. And my fingers are heading into glue land. Now I need a piece right here between the two. And it needs to be cut off nice and straight right here. Straight line, Ange, straight line. Make it good. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, let's see. Now we come back over to here, and this time we are going to start with this block up. Are you on camera, I hope? I hope I haven't been off camera. If I am so sorry. As you're working, you start pulling it closer and closer to you so you can see it. And then you're like, oh no, I've probably been off camera this whole time. Well, we do our best, don't we? That's all we can do. Oh, it's pretty. I love checks. I just think they're so neat. I remember when the little gingham checks were in style. Sure like a blouse made out of this fabric. Not the gingham side, but the flowery side. You're beautiful. Let's see if we have one that looks like a flower. Mostly a flower in the center. We didn't do that on the other one, but there we go. Yeah, that's right. Right, Angela. Yes, you got it. Now the check side. I was thinking how nice it would be to have one of the brother scan and cuts. This would have been a lot faster that way. because I could have scanned up a bunch of squares and put them in the right spot. Oh, I've got so much glue on my hands. Ick. I don't really mind it so much. Oh! Whoops. That side goes up. You saw it, didn't you? Don't do it, don't do it. I could hear you screaming at me. Don't put it down. It's the wrong one. And it was. It was upside down. Now this one. Gosh, there's not much to that one, is there? Guess it's okay though. Okay, I'm going to gently put those down. Okay, so now this piece needs to be cut off. So I want to cut it right there. As straight as I can. Erase my pencil line. Then lift that up, because remember I didn't glue it all the way down. Now glue it down. Got a little piece of glue on there and there. But it's all right. I mean, we can use something. We can use something on it. And this one's going to go on here. So let's run our glue from here to, well, let's just run it off the edge there. Won't hurt. Everything will get trimmed up. Now this piece is going to go on the inside. And we're going to cut it off right about here. And like I said, if they're off a little bit, I'm going to use the ink to kind of go back in and fill in those spots. I'll have to use it with the little brush, the little makeup brushes. That'll work out good. Okay, let's apply that one there. Okay, trim it up. And then it is off just a little bit right there. But that was probably my, there. Well, we won't worry about all that until we need to. So here is that one. That is this one. So now I have 2 of those. So that's good. It's a start, isn't it? Now this one. Now this one was a little more difficult, and it was just mostly remembering what it was I needed to do. So I need 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come here. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I need to wipe my fingers a little bit. And we'll see what we already have pre-cut to make pinwheels. So I might have enough there. I have this, and then I have this one. I really want to use this one, this purple, so I think I'm going to. All I'm doing is lining my scissors up with the diagonal corners and snipping them. Look at all that glue. Toss it on the floor. And this one. And this is just a basic pinwheel. It's not a complicated anything. Oh, that's probably enough. I don't know. I'm not counting, so it's hard to say. So, basic pinwheel. I need to look at my basic pinwheel to make sure I do it right. And this is it. Right there. You see that? Okay. So I'm going to move those up there. And if our timer goes off, I'll just shut it off and we'll finish up this little bit, I hope. It shouldn't take that long, I hope. Oh, this one definitely I need to use maneuverable glue with. But that one went down good. So maybe this will be okay. Okay, so the purple is going that way. And the bluey green is going down. Now this time the bluey green is going to go up. So you might have to talk yourself through this a little bit so you get them on correct. And then this one. We'll see how long this takes. If it takes too long, then I guess we will have to cut it short, but oh my, see, that one is off. Look at that. So I'm going to squish it back in up here with this one and hope that doesn't cause a hole right there in the center. Purple. It's because I think because I have so much glue on my hands right now that I'm getting kind of caught up in everything. My glue is getting in the way. Oh gosh, that purple is so pretty. Purple is one of my favorite colors, and I have plenty of favorites. You know, grandkids want to know what your favorite color is, and I'm like, Oh my gosh. It depends. You know, what am I looking at? Am I outside? My favorite color might be green. But both my mom and my Aunt Teresa could wear purple, and they both look absolutely stunning in it. And either one of them could wear bright red, and they absolutely look stunning in it. It was just always so amazing that they could wear so many beautiful bright colors. And you know me, I'm so light skinned that if I wear black or red, it washes me out. But it's just got my father's light skin, I guess. Guess that's okay. Still have my Native American heritage though, so that's good. I'm proud to have that. A lot different for my family now than it was for my mom and my aunt. Look at that. Isn't that a beauty? Whew. I love it. I love it. How big is that one? That one's pretty good size. About like that. Think it'll fit? Let's make it fit. Let's put our first one down. Might as well. I don't have a border around it or anything. I can put one on it later. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh. It's like putting two batiks next to each other. Wowie. Okay, now I want this to be like this one. So bring this back. And we started with, well, not that. We started with this. And you gotta get that first tip on just right at the corner. Otherwise it kind of offsets the whole thing, and you want it lined up on the side and just at the corner there. Oh gosh, that's pretty. Wowie. I love that color. I couldn't have my room that color in here because it would be too bright. But gosh, it would be sure pretty. It'd be too bright and too dark. Bright and dark. How's that for a little bit of science, huh? So what I mean by that is that the room would be too dark with that much purple in it. I must be off on this one. Let's see if I can scoot them both over a little bit. There we go. You see it's off right there? It'll be okay. We are not going for perfect. We are just going for fun. Oh, this one will go here like this. Guess we'll start on that side this time. And a purple. Like the corners, in the center. And then we need a bluey green one. I suppose you can hear my fan going. This room gets really hot. I have a beautiful south window with great morning light. Used to be great for painting. But in the afternoon, my little south window gets the sun. And because it gets the sun, it gets really hot here, even with the blinds closed. Oh, isn't that pretty? Gosh, what a beautiful color. I love those two colors together, which surprises me because they're, you know, so different. Okay, let's put this one down. And did I offset the other one? Yes, I did. Well, it would be offset no matter what I did. Ooh, that one is off. Totally. Oh my. My whole square is off. Look at that. Well, must be this one that's off. So what I'm going to do is butt those two really into each other. Must be this one. Gosh, that one looks so pretty there. But it must be crooked. Let's try that. It's a little better. It's definitely this one. Oh yes, there, that's much better. Okay. If you had to do that too, then just put a little glue back under there. Squish it down. That'll make it work. Okay. You wouldn't think that they could be off just because of the way you cut a triangle, but it does make a difference. Uh-oh, I think I'm going to run out of pieces. Won't run out of purple, but I might run out of this one. 1, 2, 3. I need 4 for each one. Okay. So I'm going to have to find some more of that. Just lining the corners up on my scissor, on my bottom scissor. Just right along there, and that tells me where exactly I need to cut it. What one will I use if I don't use this one? Well, we'll get the top part done anyway. The top row. We can make something different for the bottom row. Or we can just make that a tuck spot, right? Everything works out. Yeah, it could be a side tuck with the 3 of these together. we'll see how far we can get with what we have. Because I have to think about what pad, oh, I know what pad this is. Oh, our time is up. Okay, well, let's finish up this piece and we'll just make a tuck here. Maybe I'll save it and show it to you later. Maybe I'll work on it some more this afternoon. Gosh, it's such a beautiful color. I love it. Absolutely. Stunning. It's a stunning purple. And it goes with this blue and green really quite well. Okay. This way. Always have to remind myself where the flat part goes and where the corners are going. Yeah, this way. Okay, let's get this one on there. Now, what time is it? 1 something. I forget I have a clock in here, and then I'm like, I wonder what time it is. And then I'm like, oh, you have a clock. Look at it, silly. I haven't had a clock in here in years. Oh, not that way. There we go. We'll go that way with it. Okay, let's dry that off. And I think we'll just turn it into a side tuck. When it gets dry, I'll have to clip it down really even, but maybe I can clip it like this. Let's see how it will look. Oh, you know, the other thing you could make with these is belly bands. Wouldn't that be cool? I shall have to make one. Yeah, see how that's off just a little bit? Let me turn around to my slicing machine over here. At your own peril, Angela. It wouldn't slice very well, it's too wet. But let's see. Oh, I cut up our page, didn't I? Well, if we had a book like this, then this could be a little side tuck. Could be a bottom pocket. It could be a belly band. Of course, the paper would be a different size. Good heavens. Oh, here we go. It would be folded this way, but it'd be tall. But we'd have a belly band. It could be a little tuck here, or there, or there, or it could be an upper tuck. So, it's beautiful. I mean, look at that. That is really pretty. I love those colors. I'm wondering if I got it right. I hope I did. Okay, so here's what we made today. This one. And this one. And we also made this one right here. Isn't that pretty? Doesn't that just make you fall in love with quilts? I mean, quilts are just so amazing. And now the artistry on them is unbelievable. I don't have the patience to sew like that at all. Here's one. So I will come back again and have you join me as I make some more quilt blocks. Now look at this. This would be really neat down the edge of a page like this. Maybe. Or maybe if it was on the page and you had just a little block in there, right here. One of those little half blocks. How cool would that be? And then you could sew it down the center. And then these little flaps would be little tucks. Oh yes, there's lots to do. Okay, well thank you for hanging out with me. I am glad that you did, and I'm glad that we were able to make some of these together. And thank you very much for joining me. I do hope you have a good afternoon or evening or great morning, wherever you're at in the world and whatever time you have. I appreciate you sharing your time with me, and I am more than happy to share my time with you. It's been wonderful, and I do have a 200 subscriber giveaway coming up, and so if you're not subscribed, find that video on my 200 subscriber giveaway and go back there and make a comment. I will be I think it loads maybe tomorrow, and this here will film the day after tomorrow. So on Thursday, I believe. Okay, thanks for joining me. Bye for now.